I mean, I'm usually very reserved. I was born in Costa Rica. My parents migrated from Costa Rica to Miami when I was 6 years old. It was difficult for me growing up in Miami because I didn't speak English, so I had to learn a whole new language. So after a while, I always felt that art was kind of like an escape for me and a way for me to communicate with people, and it's art to me is like a universal language. The first time that I started working on little art projects at school and stuff like that, I just fell in love with it. In elementary, I got picked to be in the art club, and then after that in middle school I started magnet programs. So I was in gifted schools for artists. I graduated from design and architecture high school, which was I took some fashion design. That was my artistic expression that I had chose at that point. I thought I was going to do fashion design, but then I just kind of went another direction and started doing more of home design. So then I got involved in faux finishing in my 20s. I just fell in love with just creating beautiful spaces for people. I mean, honestly, that's the best feeling. I mean, when you go into somebody's home and create this finishes that they didn't think that they could have. They didn't think that they could make their home look that good. So I just fell in love with faux finishing, and I've been doing it for 20 years. And then after 20 years of doing that, right now, I decided I want to concentrate on canvas art. When I was in elementary, we were supposed to do a portrait. We were drawing each other. So I was drawing this guy who had little Jericho curls, kind of like the Michael Jackson look. And I mean, he was so cute. But I was they told us, okay, your assignment is to draw, the person next to you and make a portrait of them. And that's, I mean, I wasn't in the art club at that point, but I really wanted to get into the art club, when I was in, elementary. And I remember, I tried so hard. I was like, okay, this is my moment, man. I'm gonna shine. So I remember I tried so hard to make him look as good, and the details and everything like that. And that was the first time that the art teacher actually noticed. I mean, to me, that was just incredible, because that's what started everything. Because when that happened, that's what got me into the magnet programs. I just love making people feel good. I know it sounds kind of, but it's just when my mom, when she had my brother and she went to the hospital, I did a little, Mother's Day card, and I gave it to her, and the expression on her face, and just the whole, I love it, thank you so much. I mean, it was just, I just felt in love with that feeling to make people just have an emotion or reaction towards something that you did, that you created. It's just, I've always loved it since I was a kid. I mean, to be totally honest, and like I said, I just love the feeling of making people have some kind of reaction towards something that I created. I want to have a voice. Like I said, I want to evoke thought and emotion, and I just feel that if I evoke some kind of emotion or thought in somebody, then I feel like I've done my job as an artist. That's ultimately what I want to do. People need an escape. Everybody's trying to find that belonging. Art just kind of sometimes it's an escape for some people. For some people, it just, makes them feel good. For some people, it clarifies their thoughts. It's just nice. I mean, for me, it's just a way to escape into something else that's not, your everyday, stresses. Like I said, people just want to have something that they can just look at and and have some clarity of like things that they think about, you know. You know, I know this is gonna sound funny, but like I was telling somebody the other day, it's like I have three personalities when I'm painting, because you know I have you know, this one over here, you know, where it's kind of like you know, kind of like movement. I like to feel like there's movement, you know, in the paint or in the drawing. And then there's this over here, you know, where I have you know, where I like to texture and just put layers and layers and layers, because I like to represent the just people and everything. I mean, in nature and in people, I mean, you see everything. I mean, you see these layers just in everything. So I mean, every time for me, it's like it just depends what mood I'm in. If I'm in a crazy, you know, mood, then you know, I go abstract, you know. And then if I'm in a more like controlled, and then I'll just like concentrate and do something more, you know, realism kind of deal. So. Life, you know, people are complex, you know, there's layers, and I just love to concentrate on that. A lot of my artwork is textured, you know, and I like to think about it as, you know, even when I make these abstract, you know, face paintings, but like I layer them, and to me it's just like, you know, people are, you know, you are a product of everything that's happened in your life, you know, your upbringing, different events that have affected you in your life, and you know, and I kind of want to express that in the canvas. You know, success to me is finding your happy place, you know, being content, you know, where you are in life. And I always say, you know, if you're not content where you are in life, then you need to fight and, you know, look for your happiness, you know, because, you know, life is too short, you know. Next thing you know, you're here, and then you're like over here, and then, you know, what did you do with your life? Necessarily money for me is not happiness, you know. I think happiness is having people around you who are positive, who love you, and being content with what you've done with your life. Being happy with yourself, you know, self-love. I mean, I know this probably sounds silly, but I used to love it, like when my mom, like, I mean, she used to do this all the time, but like after like we took showers or anything like that, she would like sit us outside in the patio, and that was just like, I mean, she used to say, no, like here, because the kids need like sunlight, so something like that. So, but I used to like just love it because we had this big sunflower. I mean, it was huge. Oh, I mean, when you're 5, of course it's gonna look huge, you know, because it's like tall and majestic, and I just remember I used to just like love sitting there in the garden. I used to just think, man, this must be, I used to say, this must be the queen of all the flowers, because look how big it is and beautiful and majestic. And I remember I used to love that time. I used to love to just sit there and just like stare at the big beautiful sunflower. And I said, I know it sounds silly, but it was just something that I loved, you know. You know, when my parents moved to Miami, it wasn't that they were trying to look for a better life. You know, my dad used to always say, oh yeah, you know, you go to America, you know, the streets are made of gold, and you know, everything is just beautiful over there, and you know, money's flowing everywhere, and you know, just, but it's not like that. You know, when you're an immigrant, I mean, it's very tough. It's a tough life. So,
do you remember the difference from Costa Rica to Miami as a child? What were the differences that you noticed or saw?
You know, my parents, I used to feel like they were a little bit more free about just letting me roam, you know, the neighborhoods and hanging out with friends, and and I just felt freer, to do what I wanted to do. But then when we moved to Miami, they were overly protective. Like, don't go outside, don't do this, don't do that, don't talk to this, and, so it was very, they very sheltered, because I think they were afraid of, getting caught. It's a real thing. Like I said, they were afraid, so they kept me and my brothers very sheltered. That was the big difference. We were away from family, so we didn't grow up, with the cousins and the grandparents. So.
And you couldn't go visit.
And we couldn't go visit because, if we went visit, then we couldn't come back. So, yeah. I used to translate for my parents, when I was, 6 years old. They thought that, 1 year at school, your English is perfect. I'm like, wait a second. I can't speak, like a doctor or, a lawyer. I don't understand that language, but my parents used to take me everywhere. I used to be their little translator. And it was so, I was always so tense about it, because, as a child, there's a lot of words you don't understand. But it was always like the pressure. I was like, no, here, she's our translator. It's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not. But yeah, that was a big, like, I had like, that was like my responsibility. They took me everywhere, and I was the one that had to like translate for them. And so that was pressuring. But yeah, I grew up in Miami, and we were, illegal for a long time.
Okay.
Right up until I was in high school. I know. I have this one customer that he put. He put my art piece like, and the only reason why I think it's weird is because he kept apologizing about it. Because he put it. Okay, there's like a bathroom that goes towards the pool, so he put the art piece like going towards the pool. But he put it in the bathroom, and he was telling me, he was apologizing and saying he was sorry that he put it in the, like he was trying to tell me, it shouldn't be in the bathroom, like it should be somewhere else. I understand. And I told him, I said, it's your home, it's okay, it can be in the bathroom, and it doesn't, I said, it's, it looks beautiful here. I don't have a problem with that. But he was like apologizing about it, like, like I was offended, and I wasn't. It's in their home, it's beautiful where it was at, and the reason that he was telling me that he put it there was because it takes people towards the pool, and she's wearing sunglasses too, so he just thought it was kind of like a, beachy, sunny kind of art piece, and he wanted to put it like to guide people like to go to the pool. But he was like apologizing to me, like, I know it shouldn't be in the bathroom, it should be somewhere else. And I was like, doesn't matter to me. For me, a hero is just people who do a difference in people's lives. I could say, my daughter's my hero, or, my husband, or my family, because they've affected, so many things in my life, and I felt like they've helped me grow as a person. And my daughter is just, she's amazing to me. She looks up to me, but I look up to her, because she's such a, she's grown up to be such a strong and, well-rounded, lady. Somebody that, everybody knows, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's amazing. She's done so many stuff, for women, and human rights. And it's just, I think those are my heroes. People who make differences in other people's lives. Hidden emotions. That's the first one that I attempted to do with the concept of having an abstract where it was a 3D look to it. The interesting thing about this piece is that, if you stand in different angles of the room, you kind of see like a little bit of a different expression. There's like one side where she looks a little bit stern, almost angry. And then if you stand on the other side of the room, you see where she looks a little bit more relaxed. What I was trying to portray with that art piece is that, there's so many things I wanted to say. And there was, all these emotions, that you're, that you have trapped, that you want to express. So that's why I just try to put all of those emotions and everything into that one canvas, and just these are all just my emotions, all just bottled up in this one piece. You just have to like move around a little bit and look for them. I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping that people will come and see the work and feel a connection with any art piece that they find. Honestly, I just want them to fall in love with it. I just want them to like look at it and just fall in love with it, because I am trying to say something with my art pieces, and all they have to do is just like come up to me and ask me what's the story behind it, and I'll let them know.
Okay.